bedrock as well, Beck.
Split points for us in 5th position, using elements of what we saw at Shakedown. But Catamaran is a new stage for the drivers this year. For the past few days, when you're wrecking new stages, especially here in Kenners, getting the recce absolutely as to where you're supposed to be turning. There are some arrows out there, of course, to help them, but sometimes they disappear.
Really listening to the pace notes. Let's do that now.
3 right doors. 30. 3 left long and right to a crest brakes. 30 left, 6 right.
Blinding low sun there.
3 left sudden slot. 4 left sharp Navy flip. The slot 4 left sharp Navy flip.
Know what it takes to put the car on Safari Rally.
Couple of times we
a nice little cushion in terms of their overall advantage in the championship, but it is still
3 left of a jump, 50 brakes, middle, 8 left plus, long, door of a crest, watch it.
Fantastic scenery and everything around the Safari Rally. They're very much focused on the road few weeks, which has been much needed in this region, but it has left its effect on the stage.
There is still that moisture in the ground. What you can guarantee, Bex, is it's going to get worse and worse, particularly covered. They've been buried for years, and they'll see the light of day again.
They'll emerge.
Whether or not they'll
stage, not really knowing what's going to come out of it, or what's going to, as you mentioned, Rocks could be the fastest man out there this weekend. It's a combination of speed, cleverness, judging.
I mean, that is just, as you said, it's just trying to break the car, and your drivers have been here for the last 4 years, so they know what to expect on certain stages, where they can push, where they can't. This one is new without getting in trouble, and you know, we said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. If you might be too approach to it and use all the experience that you've got from years gone by, knowing when to push, when not to, and what.
Nothing between them, just a 1/10 of a second, with Evans ahead of Rovanperä.
Jump into the all left sharp, jump crest middle, watch it. 50 left of a jump, the medium, 4 right minus.
Big shout out to the co-drivers here as well. You know, not only on the recce are they trying to prepare the notes while they're being all of the notes. Some have just made some alterations to the stages that are similar, but it's been hours of what I certainly couldn't do.
The dust lingering, Bex. There's not a lot of wind out there now. Become blinded. There's not a lot of wind out there to clear that. I think is clearly affecting the aerodynamics and probably reducing the amount of drag there is going over that ridge. So it'd be interested to try and draw a comparison between the two in terms of top speeds and see actually if it is.
Puts them in the lead by 2.4 seconds over Takakatsuta, with Greg. There we go for Oitanak. Now then, he's past the 12-kilometre marker, past the 14-kilometre marker in this stage.
You've got this bedrock as well, taken this amount of time, you know, over 12 minutes, nearly 30. The work level that's going in here from both man and machine is break a damper. You can, I mean, the amount of the battering that the dampers are taking right now.
It's quicker than both. It's quite a bit quicker as well. 5.9 seconds up on Evans, 6 seconds up on.
Yeah, or he's getting stuck into this stage, isn't he, Bex? Clearly, there's a bit of pressure on his shoulders as well, because obviously a back foot, but there's many stories that will unfold across the weekend. But it's got to be careful that you don't overstep the mark and the nose is pointing down. Today, there'll be stages where the drivers feel like they're just hemorrhaging time, like they're going so slow, and that's a good...
Another split now for Tanak, then 6.5 up on Evans at 7 kilometres. Stage as well.
Sharp, maybe caution down. Opens long, planes 3, 6 right sharp, trim, over bump. Into 7 left sharp, then opens, the unseen, 5 left sharp, don't hug of a slow jump, and 5 right plus, don't enter of a jumps, 5 left sharp, of a slow jump, and 5 right sharp, caution down.
To the limit on Cameron. It's not over yet.
This stage is, I mean, amount of strain on the drivetrain. It's very clear to see what it's doing to the dampers and everything else. Co-drivers, all of them deserve a medal once they get to the end of this, because it's just brutal just to get through.
Scott has 58.
It's incredible. And the amount of detail that he's having to deliver.
A difference in stages here, especially when we're in the open plains. When we get a geotherm a little bit later, it's fun.
It's a slow stage, and you know, it is a second and third gear stage really. Every now and then it's quite a slow stage, Bex.
Back with Kalerov Evans.
Jarru kapeuden tiukka älä. Vasella laita 81 stop oikealla kun paha riski 10. Nyt mä sen yli. Paha hyppy.
Evans. Oh, Tanak still setting really good pace through here though. Late. Not quite as quick as his teammate Tanak. He's 1.8 seconds off the pace. Left from a crest, that's a store, 50 brakes, slot 5 right sharp. Tanak still 14.8 Ks.
In the build-up to this event, we've been hearing from the drivers themselves saying Cameron is the one that everyone's afraid of. Everybody's taking that approach, so he goes, well, if everyone's going to try and survive that and not go flat out, well, then I'll go for it. Still a long way to go in this stage for him, yet he's only halfway through it.
Yeah, that's true.
6 right sharp, sharp, don't stand. Open 6 use, into watch, soft, slight left sharp, don't. Scoop left entry of a crest, left handbrake right, trim.
Refresh, you can see how much dust now we're picking up.
Right for 40, shade left sharp, cut maybe, mid left it. And sharp, don't, rough 50, soft, 3 right long, rough end entry, early late, 5 left.
Complicating to right over the car, but you mentioned it, it gets absolutely everything.
If you're not careful, it gets sucked into the air filter, blocks the air filter, and then you just lose power. But it's not just that at weekend.
Into 3 right of a slope, tight 5 trim, opens long, 30, unseen, 5 left long.
Let's just have a quick...
A fairly serious battering already, hasn't it? See, that's actually okay, because sucking it in either through the air intake at the front of the car, or if it's sideways on as well, because if it's coming over the top in that super soft fesh.
Well, the lion's share has been done of this stage. Back into that naturally raw stuff though.
I'd like to know how many gear changes the drivers have made in this stage. Big rock on the line.
Entry 9 right plus wide loose 40. Rest left of a 70. Can they open 4 right minus.
Just looking elsewhere with the splits. Well done to anyone that gets through this stage without any. They're just looking elsewhere, you know, the slow.
apprehension about this stage, so great to see from the team.
I'm sure you're all aware by now that we are hearing visiting a few weeks ago for using language at the stage end. We're all hoping that that gets resolved. Robert Pera next to complete. And he's 7.5. Really are strong in here. Taka Katsuta, though, just taking a look at some of the splits. Taka. Robert Pera and Tanak, with Tanak faster, that's at 22Ks. Some big differences.
Who's out big on other stages, you'll win big, and that's just the nature of this rally, and we've been saying that coming into this weekend. It's the nature of the rally, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
You know, on the back foot, and if we were anywhere else, you'd go, that's a big problem. Here you go, we can
interesting. He's lost quite a bit of time in the final sector there. He competes 16.1 seconds slower than
tyres. I don't know. I'd quite like to see them anyway, just to see what sort of state they're in.
Calais, well done for making it. I just want to.
It's a thumbs up. He did say to me yesterday if there are stories to tell, he would tell them, and there, whether he just backed off. Who knows?
It would be an odd place to choose to just decide to back off.
Well, this pair are flying, as so are their teammates, Thierry Neuville and Martin Vidaga. Neuville is only 0.3 of a second behind Tanak.
Guys on the front of that car, they're doing a lot of work, aren't they? Scrabbling around for grip on the way out of analysis on how the tyres are looking and shaping up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we can have a look around the car.
The scans I've got at least has a soft tyre, so front left soft tyre. Tanak has a hard on the front, so.
Just saw him come through. Whatever happens, it's going to be a monster time, isn't it?
Time, but it's so difficult to get excited. Look at that!
Clap.
You know, we've just got to be patient ourselves.
I have to say, after all the drop queue this week, and we were talking about it this stage in particular.
Odds 8.6 up on Elvin Evans. That's a
Pair 8.6 up on Evans. Is the fastest time on the board so far. 25.57.
Looking back, condition at all, did it, Bex? So that's a hard compound tyre. Let's see if it says anything.
Very even as well. Well done.
Good stuff. Just a little smart. So remember, this man, Thierry Neuville, at least with the scans I've got, has a soft on the front left, so we'll be able to...
A second up. Taka, though, is a minute 19 down.
Yeah, something's gone on there.
Joining the coverage, Thierry Neuville this morning had some dramas in the service park. Let's say we can reach to change that, the team have said. But obviously that takes time, Chenny, to change all of that.
He's going to take over, well, as things stand, he's going to take 12 seconds out of Elvin Evans straight away, and everything else in just 20 minutes. Pulling the box out of it, sticking a new one in, and the ancillary. Again, it's so special. That's the special thing about rallying, the way these cars are engineered. The teams work quickly, how to sort problems, and that's what these guys are so good at. And yeah.
If Thierry can beat his teammate into the red, 2.1 seconds. He was up half seconds, but slower than Tanak by 2.1 for our world champions.
So that's the soft compound tyre. You can only see so much, can't you, on the lock screen, but it doesn't look bad.
But very close to getting the fastest time there, just a couple behind. What have you got a message for the team this morning? Because that...
He'll just be dragging that Toyota Yaris through now, open to picking up considerable damage.
Yeah. Made a big impact time-wise. Just for comparison, it's 1 minute 55.
it doesn't necessarily mean he'll be outside the top 4, because so early on and such a testing on such a long stage and such a slow stage as well, you end up hemorrhaging time, and it's going to be well.
Of Sammy Pyrie is stopped at 20 kilometres, 20 points.
Yeah, it's going to be over 2.5 minutes lost.
From the fastest time through, that was Tanak this morning.
There's the remnants of that tyre. Doesn't look like it's done any damage though, so that's good news. That's certainly for as well.
Well, it's gone down to the rim, but there's no damage to the wheel arch. Hard luck, man. That was really hard luck.
Yeah, it's a disappointment.
If there's any more information about that problem yesterday, but you come through here about 25 seconds off the pace. Hold on.
Oh, big bang there.
It's Josh McAlean we're on board with now. Formo was 0.6 seconds off the pace of Tanak.
Early, elastic left, cut over brow, 40 slow, left, sharp, 2 left, minus, open, 40.
Tough stage then to kick off the well, not the first morning. Well, it is the first morning, I guess, because we started this year.
3 right, tightest, 30, soft, 2 right, double second, 1.
To stopping to change a tyre, hasn't it, Bex?
Yeah, it's a 3-minute time loss we can see. As you say, all the hallmarks of that. I love Owen's little encouragements at the stage end. They do first stage of the rally.
Key thing is that Puma looks strong. Sammy Pyrie.
Josh, well done, mate. It's all about survival in here. And I've got to say, your time's 10 kilometres first proper stage, we call it, Safari, a little bit.
It's Hannah.
Yeah, he's done well. Everyone who's got to the end of this stage has done well. It just looks at the moment like Tanak and it's just that balance that we talk about of this rally, of just knowing how hard you can lean on the car. And
so this is a replay stage. So this was at 20.
Yeah, confirmation that they've stopped to change a.
Gregoire Munster won't be that far behind Sammy Pyrie here.
No, dust could be an issue.
Certainly in that.
Yeah, for sure, dust is an issue for him. And yeah, at some point they'll have to have a look at this, because there will be places, I'm sure, where Gregoire will have lost time as a result of getting caught in the dust. This looks okay.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Stage, which is why he has the most for this stage at 59. Being in, we get some amazing heli footage throughout the weekend.
Sammy just coming up to the end. And he's not got it in the direction that he wants it to go. It's sliding is probably the wrong term to use, but it's carrying the most home.
Lots of time here as we head towards the redboards.
We said it, didn't we, Bex? We said already having to stop and change a wheel.
We confirm that was a puncture change.
Joo, meinastettiin se. Ja ei nyt ehkä muutenkaan ollut helppoa, että aikamoinen.
Right, so he said the windscreen is cracked again. You can just see it there. And
front splitter completely gone off that Puma.
I'd imagine you were so close.
Yeah, he lost about 3 minutes, and when you lost 3 minutes, you go
A little bit soft as well.
I think because I couldn't see, I hit maybe a small rock, so I have a slow puncture. But
PK just warning him there that, was it the rear left? Did he say rear right?
He said there have been times when it would have been way worse, and what it does is it's so difficult to then judge your, but they will look at that, I'm sure, Bex, and they'll try and no, for sure they'll try and get some time back.
Let's join Jordan Soderidis now. Then we had a meet the cruise session. So yesterday, in between stage 1 and stage 2, happily, and Jordan was telling us all about the fact that he's decided the back end of last year to change his pace that he's concentrating on. And he's, you know, in a bid to go faster, and he does.
And as you say, he's not here to set the world alight. He's not here to try and
Patience, which can kind of win out the game. You know, clever strategy here. Okay, Jordan Soderidis completes into WRC2 territory now, and it is Kaito Kaitanovic leading WRC.
Tough that Cambaran stage. It's 31 kilometers of nasty safari. How was it?
La voiture glisse beaucoup de l'avant, de l'arrière. Donc on a beaucoup de travail pour avoir un meilleur setup.
Which a bit of Greek at the start, Calamera. And then a little bit of French as well. Man Oliver Solberg by 1.3 seconds. Dominguez was in 3rd position last night to lead.
See from the splits here, a sea of red behind you once again. Very well done. That can't have been easy in there.
I wanted to get through so I can see my fiance.
Keep that mindset all week.
57.4 is the completed time as we have a look at Fau Zaldivar here.
It was fresh, a steering lock onto the left, but the car was just pushing on straight.
Izquierda 4 menos y 40. Izquierda 4 menos. 130. Dos. Derecha 5 angosta. Frenar 50 recto. Derecha 5 angosta. 140.
He's just 10 seconds behind up at 19 kilometers. As much of a muchness for WRC2. Look at that.
Obviously, so they get punished even more.
Derecha 7. Derecha 7. Baja derecha 3. Cierra 4 menos mala. 80 meta. 200. 80 meta. 200.
Zaldivar completes then. It's a minute off the pace of Oliver Solberg. He's off.
Minus 100.
Long ago, Bex.
Foul, a minute dropped. I'm sure you're aware that the left rear is off its rim. It's managed to stay together.
This is going to be the next car to complete. We've got Jan Solens as well in the stage. You know, the iconic shot of the Fesh just splaying all around the car. It is full images all around.
Good drive from Gus. He's kept himself within contention of Oliver Solberg on such a long stage. He'll be... Again, see that slot right, they'll be so happy to have known that they've gotten out of the worst of the stage and they can...
Gus, I'm sure it's a big relief to make to the finish. You can just show you the split times there at least. You lost a little bit of a chunk in that blue helmet, not a red one, no?
I'd rather not wear a helmet.
He's not like I'm saying this, he's a massive Chelsea fan. Pete Gus's response, I'd rather not wear it. It's got the Manchester United logo on it, so special one for this weekend.
Recce here last year, but he was really hoping that a podium is possible within WRC. Split-wise, he's 43.5 seconds behind Solberg, 26.57.4. Gus Greensmith was 27.25.1.
It actually looks like it's bottomed out in certain places.
I'm sure it's going to be.
The Nationals coming through here later.
Yeah.
Your result is often written by other people's stories, other people's events, but it's about what happens to other people here.
That time tick away then. Red board's just up ahead. Kaito Gaetanovic, though, finds himself a little bit on the back foot here to Oliver Solberg's time.
Special out here.
No, I mean, ha sido horrible. Tenía, yo creo, más de un pinchazo porque...
Go on to the next one.
I switched to our Spanish expert, Mike Chen.
Away with that, you lucky boy, you've got to be careful. But yeah, the car was undrivable, and saying Kaito lucky to get away with that. You end up in one of those off the road and you collect a rock first. Look how it's dug out. So right there, you'll be seeing how the Rally 3 cars are, because the belly of the car will just be, the bottom of the car will just be dragging along.
Kaito said to me yesterday, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be battling away with the likes of Oliver Solberg. Gus Greensmith is making sure that I win that. But, you know, his performance yesterday then spoke differently. You know, 6 seconds off the pace of Solberg.
It's only 8.9 down to Gus Greensmith. Look at that front split has all been dragging along there.
Yeah.
And a stall,
you know, when he
as well.
went through those pushes, that
probably Beck's where he had that off-road excursion. So as we said, the tyres.
I'll let you get yourself sorted. Good morning. In the end, was that where you think that happened?
Wiemy, gdzie to się stało. Nigdzie nie uderzyliśmy, ale tak, jechaliśmy 7 kilometrów, coś około. Tak.
reach a podium. He said, I'd love to see, you know, a Paraguayan driver on the podium here. He's here last year. He's got some unfinished business with this rally.
Let's get to this rough, rutted, fesh section. The ruts pushing the car back onto the road there. A bit of time to Gus Greensmith, those ahead of him, but
yeah, huge sense of relief. What a WRC2 from Oliver Solberg, who is into the lead of the WRC2 cap.
Oh, morning, Diego. Well done. You survived. 43 seconds.
Best, but yeah, just happy to be here and we try to take care of the car.
Well done. On for a podium this weekend, yeah?
That's
Greensmith 9th, Gaetanovic 10th fastest through. We did rally Kenya by 13 seconds over Elvin Evans, who moves up 3 spots into off the lead. It's the greenery here on what is a typical safari surface.
Yeah, it's a busy stage, isn't it? But Louis Luca with 59 pages of notes just for this one stage. So Hancock as well, Bex. This is going to be a real test for them. Today is probably the toughest day of the entire year.
Now we are alongside the sleep. And the crucial thing is, we talked about it over the past few days, you're really able to make your markers as to where you're supposed to be turning. There are some arrows out there, of course, to help them, but sometimes they... We'll switch out to our double world champions, Kalle Rovanperä. Fantastic in the past few weeks, which has been needed in this region, but it has left.
What you can guarantee, Bex, is it's going to get worse and worse, particularly for the WRC2 runners in the national rally. They'll become the nemesis of a rally car, remains to be seen, but for sure
this as well in the past couple of days being first on the road here. You know, we're going into the unknown, certain out stages, but not just this one, but the entire rally, because it isn't the fastest man out there this week. So rocky.
I mean, that is just, as you said, it's just trying to break the car, and they know what to expect on certain stages, where they can push, where they can't. This one is new. Treat it with some respect. Don't go out and might be 2 or 3, 4 minutes behind the car in front, but it could be enough for a podium position. The gaps will be very big.
So you can see the split there at 4.8. Oh, you know, not only on the recce are they trying to prepare the notes while they're being just shaken about, hours of work and preparation. Now they're having to read the notes while they're being shaken about at speed.
Through on his way back down, you have to just drive through the dust, and again, sometimes up speed between the Toyotas and the Hyundais here. As I said, that snorkel, I think is certainly the majority of it is, so it'll be interesting to try and draw a comparison between the two in terms of top speeds.
60.4 seconds over Taka Katsuta, with Greg Munster in third position for There we go. H.
All right, sharp door into 1-6 right, caution door number jump, 97 middle, 6 sharp, caution door. And 6 right sharp, maybe start to stop, 9 right, caution door.
It's been a while since it's taken this amount of time, you know, over 12 minutes, nearly 30. From both man and machine is phenomenal.
Let's get back out to Oitanak then. We're approaching it noticeably from what we can see from the onboard faster.
Kenya, that minute penalty for tearing the field is not the end of the world. Obviously, he's got him on the back foot, but there's many. He's doing that at the moment. But again, you just got to be careful that you don't overstep the mark and end up breaking the car.
It's fine, but it's so many different elements to it.
So this is where we were right. This is where we were looking at Elvin Evans from the heli.
So you can see on the splits here now, 14.8 kilometres. Rovan Peril 1 point
feeling.
We've also got Newville and Taka Katsuta into the stage as well.
5 left sharp, maybe caution down. Opens long, over bump. Into 7 left sharp, left opens. 30 plus door.
I'd love to know the amount of don'ts in the notes. It's not even 7:30 in the morning, and he's got
everything, isn't it? It really is. You know, you're up and down the gearbox, so it's putting an enormous amount of strain on the drivetrain. It's very, all the co-drivers, all of them deserve a medal once they get to the end of this, because it's just, it's incredible. And the amount of detail that he's having to deliver, because it is such a busy stage, you know.
A bit later, it's fast. This stage has a lot of technicality, over a huge amount of kilometres.
Be a spell to take just to get a moment's rest,
which means he's still got another 10 Ks to go, just under. A drift of Elvin Evans. So there's the next bit now, 19 Ks. 2.3 seconds to difference. Newville also doing a really solid job in here. Not quite as quick as... can see the surface changing now. Tanak still ruling the roost on the splits, and look at the difference now. 10.
I mean, you pick certain stages where you really want to have a push, and I guess break things, so they were all saying we've got to survive that one. Boy, Tanak knows that everybody's taking that approach, so he goes, well, still a long way to go in this stage for him, yet he's only halfway through it.
Yeah, that's true.
Into watch, stop, slight left long, 30 brakes, 6 right shot, 30, stop now, hairpin left, cut arrow, the hairpin left, cut arrow,
yeah.
into flat right up 70, into crest and flat right long, right sharp, road, rough, 50,
And it's so soft, okay, it didn't go right over the car, but you mentioned it gets
the air filter blocks the air filter, and then you just lose power. But it's not just that, it can also cause overheating issues.
3 right of a slow jump, 30, 6 right, trim, narrow, so 6 right.
deep fesh towards the end of this stage. So if they haven't had enough, they have to deal with that.
That front of the car. It's when you go sideways through it, then you run the risk of sucking it in, either through the air intake. Think about in that super soft fesh.
Well, the lion's share has been actually rough stuff, though.
It'll be a fairly terrifying number.
Right 7 sharp of a crest. And 6 right sharp, maybe of a crest, 5 left sharp, slope up, 100. Flat leftish of a crest, left of a 70.
Right boards. Well done to anyone that gets through this step. They're just looking elsewhere, you know, the splits all around Tanak right now.
It's great to see from the outside of the car at least. You come through unscathed. It's there. Those 2 Hyundais coming. Well done, mate.
Yeah, we get it, Elvin. You got a bit confused. FIA after the fine from Adrian Formeau in Sweden a few weeks ago for using that. Right, Rovapera next to complete in here. Taka Katsuta, though, just taking a look at some of the splits. Attack is 31 seconds down. The difference is vast, isn't it? 18.2
gaps between the drivers. On some stages you'll lose out big, on other stages you'll win big. It's the nature of the rally, isn't it, basically?
Yeah,
you know, having these big time gaps. That's a big problem. Here you go.
Slower than Elvin Evans. He was only 7.5 behind.
Yeah,
27 Ks. So that final
dropped at the very end. Have you got any comments on there? Obviously a difficult day to stage the start of the day.
Kind of keen to know what, though, in the final sector, if anything happened there, or whether he just backed off. Well, this pair are flying, so are their teammates, Thierry Neuville and Martin. Neuville is only 0.3 of a second behind Tanak at 22 kilometers.
All these slow corners. Be interesting to have a look at the Thierry Neuville on the front left. Look at the front left of Neuville and Tanak.
Whatever happens, it's going to be a monster time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an incredible drive.
Classic safari scenes.
Any other rally, any other stage, if we saw this sort of time, we'd be like, this is up.
True, this is a rally where the gaps can be so big just after one stage. In particular, his notes are by far the neatest I have seen in the service park.
That's job done.
24.7 up on Rovapera, 8.6 up on Evans. Is the
quick glimpse at tyre. Didn't look in bad condition at all, did it, Bex? And that's a hard compound tyre. Let's see if it says anything. Good stuff. Just a little smile. It would have been happy front left, so we'll be able to have a little look.
We're seeing now just as fans were on board with Tan what has gone on with Takamoto Katsuta in this stage. Just to keep it, they changed the drive shaft this morning and transmission. It was precautionary to change that, the team have said. Really mean a huge amount.
He's going to take over, well, as things stand, he's going to take 12 seconds out of Elvan, just 20 minutes. Pulling the box out of it, sticking a new one in, and the ancillaries around it is pretty impressive. Engineered, the team's worked so hard. They're not just thinking about how do we make a car go fast and lots of different surfaces in shafts and everything else in 20 minutes. That's pretty impressive.
Stage, second fastest. Quicker than Elvin Evans by 6.5 seconds.
Soft compound tyre. You can only see so much, can't you, on the little screen? It doesn't look too...
Time there, just a couple behind. What have you got a message for the team this morning? Because that looked like a heck of a job in 15 minutes.
Now,
away.
that tyre to let go, delaminate completely and destroy that rear wing and open up the side of the car.
He has made a big impact time-wise.
Real shame for Takamoto Katsuta, isn't it, Bex? Every time he's never finished outside of the top four here in the Safari. You know, if this were a shorter stage, obviously the time loss would be limited, but on such a long stage and such a slow...
A little bit of a look at the footwork of Taka. He's trying to navigate 20.3 of a kilometre into the stage. See if he gets going. The start of a very long and demanding rally here. 4 down. From the fastest time through, that was Tanak this morning.
Doesn't look like it's done any damage though, so that's good news. That's certainly from what we can see from the body.
Damage to the wheel arch, at least I can tell you that much. Are you able to tell your fans at least where it happened, any information at all?
At the stop control. That's it from Adrian Formeau, who had his own disappointments. Years 26, 24.9.
Really great to see you're out here. And you have to give us any more information about that problem yesterday.
Oh, big bang there.
It's Josh McAlean looking face of Tanak.
The sharp free right plus 18. 5 left 40 fresh, 4 left 5 is okay.
1 kilometre stage, the drivers are facing Camp Moran, which is new for this year.
1 2 right, 5 30, stop. 2 right.
Yeah, it's a 3-minute time loss we can see on that split point. I mean, you know, they've just experienced the longest stage of the rally, the toughest stage of the rally.
Just that. Sammy Pyrie.
Josh, well done, mate. It's all about survival in here. And a minute safari, a little bit.
Signals this morning that we're getting.
Tanak and Thierry Neuville have just got the balance spot on, haven't they? Yeah. They've got to the end of the stage. No damage, we don't know. We didn't see it, but I suspect he stopped to change a wheel.
Yeah, and he's just pulling over here on the stage.
I didn't see where they were jacking the car up, but yeah, confirmation that they've stopped to change a tyre. Shoot.
Certainly in that fesh section, because
sure.
in the other sections maybe not so much.
Well, we'll see now. At some point in the stage there will be. It's a brave place to put an expensive camera there, wasn't it? It's dust.
Why he has the most for this stage at 59.
It's not bad.
Some amazing heli footage throughout the weekend. It's just a pleasure to watch and listen there.
Just got this final technical section to negotiate. It's moving, and he's not got it in the direction that he wants it to go. And it's sliding is probably the wrong term. Didn't we, Bex? We said straight away from the off that this stage was going to catch people out, that there would be drama from the word go.
You can see how close behind Greg and Louis are here.
Sammy, rotten luck. It's just over 3:20 dropped. Can we confirm that was a puncture change?
Rengas vaihdettiin se. Ja ei nyt ehkä muutenkaan ollut helppoa. Että
Windscreen is cracked again. You can just see it there, firming that he...
You might want to check your...
So, let's see if we can... No, we're not going to. But, yeah, PK just warning him there that...
Didn't look too bad. There would have been times when it would have been way, way worse. And what it does is it's so dicks, and they'll try and for sure they'll try and get some time back.
One in stage 2, the drivers came back to like a shopping centre here where they did autographs to put some more information into it, but make it less pesos, using more numbers. And it's all about it. He said, yeah, well, as a driver, you want to challenge yourself.
He likes a challenge, you're right, Bex. He loves a challenge.
He does.
And
saying, you know, it's patience which can kind of win out the game. You know, clever strategy here. Okay, Jordan Soderidis into WRC2 territory now, and it is Kaito Kaitanovic.
C'était vraiment...
System working.
It works.
Merci.
I love... Right, WRC2, Kaito Kaitanovic in the lead of WRC2 over this man, Oliver Solberg, by one, because he should take the lead.
Behind you once again. Very well done. That can't have been easy in there.
I'm engaged, and I'm very, very...
That mindset all week, mate. Well done.
What time-wise, certainly, it is good for...
It's really starting to get deep out there, Bex. As more and more cars come through, it's just getting churned up.
Izquierda 6. Izquierda 6. 4 menos corta. Y 40. Izquierda 4 menos. 130. Frenar 50 recto. Derecha 50. 140.
It's much of a muchness between Kaito and Gus Greensmith in terms of time, but Kaito certainly the closest.
Baja derecha 3, cierra 4 menos mala. Baja derecha 3, cierra 4. 80 meter, 200.
Completes then. It's a minute off the pace of Oliver Solberg, who's our fastest WRC2 driver through so far. Ah, look at that. Tyre off the rim.
Right.
Yeah, tricky on the
Drift of Solberg's time. So Gus is going to be the next car to complete. We've got Jack. It's iconic. Yeah, you know, the iconic shot of the Fesh just splaying all around the car.
One right minus. 700.
17.5 down at 27.1. Whenever any of the drivers see that slot right, they'll be so happy.
Gus, I'm sure it's a big relief to make it to the finish. You can just show you the split times there. At least you lost a little bit.
I'd rather not wear a helmet.
He's got no problem talking to you there, Pete. I'd rather not wear a helmet, thanks.
Then wear a blue one.
Good banter, boys. Yeah, good stuff.
That's a very quick comeback. Okay, Jack there. That is the target for him. time from Oliver in here, 26:57.4. Gus Greensmith was 27.
Certain places.
I'm sure it's going to be
the Nationals coming through here later, the Rally 3 cars, they're going to have events from this weekend, you know. If you just stick to your own strategy, other people will have problems.
That time tick away then. Redboard's just up ahead. Solberg's times. He was faster on the opening splits.
Jan, good morning. Very well done. Safari debut, is it everything?
Todos lados, no sé. Totalmente inconducible, no sé qué llevamos, si dos pinchazos o qué llevamos, pero eso
Kaito's just caught a few bushes as well.
Got away with that, he's a lucky boy, you've got to be careful. Kaito lucky to get away with that. You end up in one of those off the road. So right there, you'll be seeing how the Rally 3 cars are going to get through that. I've got no idea. So just got to.
Dominic just said, look, they will be in a class of their own. He said, I'm concentrating on the challenger.
Coming into the morning, I can tell you Oliver's now taken that and.
Jakby był rozgrywany w kamieniołomie.
It's just off the rim, there's no damage to the arch, so it's just a win.
Że tu jesteśmy, to jest naprawdę monster stage odcinek.
Maybe we can reach a podium. He said, I'd love to see, you know, a Paraguayan driver on the podium here. He's got some unfinished business with this rally.
He's getting just dragged off road there. Look. That's gone really bad through that section, hasn't it?
It really has.
Diego, another man though who has survived it. He was just so happy to see this stretch of road. They were like, yeah, we're there, we've made it.
Fastest time on the board in WRC2 from Oliver Solberg, who is into the lead.
Oh, morning, Diego. Well done. You survived. 43 seconds dropped. Wanted to ask you, how rough is it weekend yet?
Let's hope so, yeah.
Well done.
Well, that is certainly the plan out there. It's a long Takamoto Katsuta and Sami Pyri. Pyri stopping to change a tyre. Oitanak then lead 18.6 seconds adrift of Evans and 27.7 off the lead. Here on what is a typical safari surface.
Yeah, it's a busy stage, isn't it, Bex? Excuse me. Throughout this stage, as you just said, Louis Luca with 59 pages of notes just for this. So we'll really see the durability of the car, of the tyre. I think this is for Hankook as well, Bex.
Split points for us to try and keep you up to date with. Elvin Evans starts the day for us in position, using elements of what we saw at Shakedown. But Cameron is a new stage for the drivers this year. For the past few days, you're wrecking new stages, especially here in Keno's, getting the wrecking out.
Sensational save! It's Kane! Marvellous goal!